Come talk shit and politic with Kristie J from the Chisholm Report every Saturday at 10 a.m. on hot7025fm.com.
This is Kristen Gamer, and you are tuned into my mom, Kristie J. And this is Hot 702.5.
It's Kristie J from the Chisholm Report. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5.
If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor, 'cause I know some so poor. When it rains, that's when they shower, scream and fight the power. That's when the vulture devours. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, was president, if I was president, yeah. I know some soldiers that sleep but they can't dream, wake up with screams, sounds of M16. So take this medal of honor for your bravery. I wish you the best, kid, you and your family. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president. But the radio won't play this, they call it rebel music. How can you refuse it? Children of Moses, tell the children the truth, the truth. It's not all that bling that's diamond. Tell them the truth, the truth. Most of y'all wear cubic zirconium. Take it off. Tell them the truth, the truth, yeah. Your soul is worth more than diamonds.
If I was president, all blacks that have reparation, no segregation, feed the nation so there's no famine. Muslims, Jews, Christians, with all whole hands every week on the beach. Party by the sand, word up. Take trips on Air Force One. Don't need to bring the homeless with no sneaks to Air Force One. Better schools in the hood, better teachers for the classes, making money, paying no tax. Find the best scientists, tell them come up with an answer. I want the cure for AIDS and cancer, but I gotta watch my back. Snipers on the hill with the steel, waiting to jig F
I
kill.
was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, I feel the rain coming, let me play my guitar for them right now.
Let's go.
Refugees, yeah.
Good morning. This is Kristie J. And this is the Chisholm Report. We are here to be able to give you the information that's happening with our government and politics locally and also federally, and also what's happening around the world. I thank you guys for coming in every Saturday at 10 a.m. to be able to sit with me. Today I will have 2 tickets that I will be giving away for movies. And I am very excited on who's going to win them. So I have a question, and that's what I need answered. I need you to tell me what day, okay, does the national election start this year? Okay. If you do, the closest person will get the tickets, but I need you to at least be close. Okay. So the question is, when can you go vote nationally, okay, for this election that's coming up this year, later this year. Okay. So before I get started, I'm going to kind of give you a breakdown of what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to name off my call-in list. Call in, okay? Station casinos, call in. Rich black people who live in Las Vegas, call in. Real estate people that are business and commercial, call in. Donald Trump, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, call in. CCSD school board, call in. Homeowners that live in HOAs. De Bellagio, call in. Private funded for the stadium, the private funded party for the stadium, call in, and also taxpayers. I would want to hear what you got to say about this show today, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk about some local news that's going on. And one of the things that actually hits my heart is that the Station Casinos is actually going to demolish 3 of their landmark, hotels and casinos here. The one is the Texas, which was opened in 1995. The Fiesta Rancho that was opened in 1994, and then also Fiesta Henderson that was opened up in 1998. Now, these are the issues that I have in regards to this, is that with them selling these properties, I want you guys to go back into your life. Okay, if you ever lived on this side of town, or you had friends or anything, we used to go to the Texas all the time. I used to go to the Fiesta with my mom because she loved the Mexican restaurant that they had in there all the time. My first job was at the Texas. I worked at Kids Quest. Shouts out all my people who worked at Kids Quest. This was a place where the locals could come and have entertainment, have closer jobs, also to be able to bring additional revenue into the west of Las Vegas. Okay. And the issue that I have with this is that they were able to open back up June 4th, I believe, of last year. They decided not to. Okay. They've been closed since March 22, which was the beginning of the pandemic, and the loss of jobs was tremendous. Okay, these are, like I said, the locals mess with the station casinos. Okay, because the prices are not strip prices, so you can actually go and be able to get a meal, do some play, let your kids go to the movie theater, go bowling, drop the babies off at the Kids Quest, grab a snack, get some drinks. I love their daiquiris, their dollar daiquiris. It was amazing. The problem is that when the bigger casinos and stuff start opening up around Vegas, less people started to come to these casinos. But why demolish them? The Texas had just had a remodeling not too long ago. So why demolish them instead of being able to sell them to the locals? Why were the locals shut out of any buying of these casinos? Why were black people cut out of any buying of these casinos? And I think of it like, if a black owner, and I'm being real, call in if you want to, 702-551-5261. If a black owner, let's say Mayweather decided that he was going to go in with somebody else here in Las Vegas and actually buy the casino, okay? Just like Skate Rock, I rarely see anybody at Crystal Palace any longer. Why? Because the rage is at Skate Rock. They have programs. They're over there doing this. You buy from us, sell from us, purchase from us. I think that they feel like they would lose the local dollar if the station casinos had black casinos. I know I never go to the Strip anyway. I'm from Las Vegas. The only time I ever go to the Strip is when people come here. And I tell them, why don't you go do all your tour stuff first and then come holler at me, and then I'll take you to the local spots, and then you can be able to see what real Vegas is like. But it affects me in the fact that this takes away so much revenue from the West and North Las Vegas part of the city. What are you going to replace it with? Because you're going to demolish it and do what with it? Right. I was talking to my sister about it, and she was saying that she feels like high rises are on the way. But that's years down the road how I feel. You know, like, what are you doing with this property when you, in the pandemic, okay, when you had all these homeless people, there are hotels in these casinos. You could have been able to house people. You could have been able to make these headquarters. You did make them, Texas, the headquarters for like food distributing and things like that. But what about the inside facility? Why not use it? So I'm very confused on that. Texas station owner or the person that is selling it, call in 702-551-5261. Okay. And talking about food, if you're having issues with any additional, like not being able to get food, I'll tell y'all, it's been a trip. Okay. The prices and stuff in the grocery store are so high right now. So if you need any help, like you need milk, cheese, eggs, anything, produce, all that stuff or whatever, CCSD is offering a free food drive-through distributing from July to August the 5th, starting at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday at 18 high schools. And I took a picture of it just so I could be able to make sure I tell you guys where to go. Okay, you don't have to tell anybody your business. You're in your personal car. Nobody has to know that you are having issues with food, but just know that your tax dollars pay for this food to go out. Don't be so prideful that you don't get what belongs to you. Okay, so it's very discreet. You can come right up. They're going to ask you a couple of questions. They're going to put some food in your trunk, and you're going to drive off. The locations are Basic High School, Centennial High School, Cheyenne, Cimarron, Clark, Del Sol, Desert Pine, Las Vegas High School, Mojave, Shadow Ridge, Sierra Vista, Silverado, Spring Valley High School, Western Career and Technology Academy, Western High School, and also West Prep High School. So Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you should be able to go get in line to get food if you need it, okay? Make sure that you do that. Along with some additional local news, HOAs want residents to pay up to $1,600 for a turf conversion. They want to turn your grass areas into turf, and they want you to pay for it. Even though you already pay HOA fees, I wonder what are homeowners thinking that live in HOAs thinking. Call in 702-551-5261. I want to know what you think in regards to it, because I understand that we are having a water shortage here in Las Vegas. Lake Mead is at an all-time low. They said it came up a little bit, but it's at an all-time low. And I understand trying to conserve water, but if I purchase a home for hundreds of thousands of dollars, I want to do what I want with it. So with my kids like grass. They like to be outside. I like to ground myself and be able to take my shoes off in the grass and walk around, kind of get myself focused. I don't know if that's something that I would say yes to as a homeowner. So you guys call in, let me know what you think. So the stadium project, okay, residents oppose spending more money on the stadium. Okay, I agree. because there's so many other things that we could be paying for. We'll end up in the same situation that New Orleans was in when they had Katrina, which was they put all this money into the the Superdome, and then the levees broke. Okay, so here's our levees breaking. Education is at an all-time low. Okay, Lake Mead is at an all-time low. Okay, and then housing market is at an all-time high. There's the prices of homes and rentals and everything else is so expensive right now. Why aren't we talking about spending any additional money on these things? Okay, just to give a perspective of how much money taxpayers put in there. Of course, the first thing someone is going to say, it's privately owned. We don't have to pay it. Tax dollars, taxpayers paid $750 million for the stadium. Okay, the private funded program, the private funded party paid a total. The whole entire thing was 1.9 billion. Okay, that's a very large chunk of what they paid. It's a very large amount for them to say you have no say so, and then they still want to take your tax dollars and pay into it. I also want to let you know that they're not the stadium. The people that own Allegiance are not obligated to help with the city or the state, but they do it out of kindness. Okay, the casinos here are supposed to be able to pay for our pavement of our streets and transportation, but we have not basically set up what the professional teams are supposed to be helping us with, and at this point they have nothing. So them just doing they paid for the kids to have a free lunch last year. Thank you so much. You can do more. Okay, if you want us to put so much money into the stadium that we can't even go into. Okay, at the beginning of the pandemic, we couldn't even go in there. It was brand new. All right, everybody in Las Vegas is not being able to share and have fun at this location. Why do I have to pay? I'm not going to a Raiders game. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to a Raiders game. I'm not going to an NFL game because I still feel like they're treating our people like racing horses. Okay, and I just don't want to put my money into a system that does not support my people. I don't forget that you were upset about taking a knee. I don't forget that just a minute ago the coach, also what was it, the owner or something, had said some racist. The coach said some racist ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not forgetting that. And we forget that because, of course, we're like, that's my team. That team don't care nothing about you, don't know your name or nothing. But you so gun-ho to be able to be out there. I will never understand it. I don't. Okay? And I love sports. But I'm not interested in anything that the stadium or these teams have going until I can see you do more for my people, which are the people who live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where you reside at the moment. Also, I wanted to also point out that they did a poll, and the poll breakdown was this. Okay, so-called Las Vegas people want to be able to break up the school district, the Clark County School District, into smaller areas. Sounds great, doesn't it? Let's go into it. Okay, the issue with that is poor versus rich. This is visual discrimination. If you saw in the pandemic, the kids that were on more or less the north side of the city did not get they didn't get laptops. They were late being able to get any additional food out to the kids and stuff like that. When they were distributing food when the kids were at home, they didn't have enough supplies in these areas when Henderson, Summerlin areas were able to go ahead and send their kids with tablets. They had enough plexiglass to let the kids come back to school and everything else. When my kids got back to school, there was nothing done. They were working on stuff while the kids were there because they were last priority because they're the poor kids. Okay? This is good area versus bad area. This is less funding for the poor areas. Okay? So let's see who supports this. All right? In supporting this, 44% of the people who were for this, and then there's almost 15.7% that opposed it. Okay? And then 39.9% people did not vote on this, meaning that you didn't understand what this is. This is important for you to vote on, okay? Because if you live in these areas, and I'm speaking to the ones that live on Donna Street, but you call yourself a Republican, okay? Let's talk about it. Your kids are not going to benefit from the rules that they're going to put in for this. Your kids are going to be in the same area as the other poor kids. So if you rule for this, if you go and say, I'm going to vote for this, then you are crippling your own child. Look at what North Las Vegas is worse than Las Vegas as for cities and education. Okay, so let's talk about who voted for this and how this plays out. White people, 58% voted in this poll. Okay. Hispanic Latinos, 9.2%. Blacks, 6.1%. I'm very upset with both of y'all because this is most important to us and for us to be able to make sure our kids are getting the same education as these rich schools, and you didn't show up. Asian and Pacific Islander, 10.6%. Okay. Let's talk about the age demographic who voted on this. All right. So 13%, 13 to 18%. No, sorry, excuse me. 13% of 18 to 29-year-olds voted on this. 29% of 30 to 49-year-olds voted for this. 28% of people who were 50 to 64 voted on this. And then 29% of 60 and above. Now, this is the issue I have with it. What the hell do you know about going to high school in today's age, 50-year-old? What do you know? As 65 and up, what do you know? You came from an era where y'all were separated. What do you know about today? Why is the 50 to 65-year-old and up the main people voting on this? You didn't have a computer when these kids, when you were a child. School is totally different. Why are you voting on this and not? To me, it just makes me feel like we keep allowing people who don't have the best interest for us be able to put and input rules on us, and we sit back and let it happen. 39% of y'all fools sat at home when this has something to do with your children. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is eerie to me because what tell me a good thing that's gonna happen from that? They're gonna make the school district smaller. Then what? Only thing that's gonna benefit is schools that have good sports. So what? I don't know who's winning right now, but let's say anybody. They got a smaller amount of people so they can play sports and do more championships and stuff like that. What about the funding that's supposed to come to the school already? The teachers are already being paid less. So you're going to cut the district down, cut how many students come into the high school, and then you'll start seeing these poorer high schools starting to shut down because they don't have any funding. So let's talk about it. Let's make that something that we are being aware of and moving forward, making sure that they hear us. I am a mother of a child, and I don't live in the best area in the city. Okay. My child is super smart, I want him to have the same opportunities as a child that is growing up in Green Valley. Okay? And not because of anything other than the fact he deserves it. He deserves to be on an even playing field once he graduates to be able to go to college. He deserves to be on an even playing field if he decides to go straight to work or even into the military. So let's make sure that we're paying attention to that. Okay. I also wanted to say this about the Bellagio. Shouts out to the Bellagio for having a vintage poster of black musicians and artists. What do you call them? Anyway, so basically they have a display going on from July 15th to October the 2nd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It is $18 for adults, $15 for seniors, military, children, well, students and also teachers. Children under the age of 5 are free. I think that that'd be great to go show your kids. They're displaying it. I would say let's support it so they see that it's something that's important to us, so they keep doing it, because they're only doing it for money. Let's just be real. They're not doing it because we want to be more satisfied with the black community and we want them to know we care. That's not really what it is. They saw an avenue and they can get some money from it. Period. So let's support them in that, because obviously y'all not supporting the Black History Museum that's on the west side. They dealing with the fact that they trying to demolish them. So let's figure one out. I don't know what you're going to do, but do something. North Las Vegas officials demolish a tiny home community made by activists. Okay. This was a little area that they purchased, and they started to put up these little huts on the property for the homeless. Anybody that lives in Las Vegas knows that it was 120 something degrees the other day. Well, maybe 770 degrees. That's how it feels. Okay, so it's a burning, dry heat. Can you imagine being out in that 24/7 and not having anywhere else to go? What they do in that area is they just move the homeless around. The police come by with these garbage trucks, and they spray the area and they spray the homeless with water. Okay, and they spray these areas and make the people get up and move each and every day, right? But instead of that, what's across the street from all these homeless people off of Las Vegas Boulevard and Main Street is a big open area where they can use as a tent city, where you can also be able to go through and actually give them resources and help them if that's what you really want to do. Okay, but moving them around just so you can be able to clean up an area so you can take a picture, North Las Vegas officials, is not good enough for me. Okay, and it's not good enough for the homeless. I would love for the actual officials to go and be homeless for a day. I think it would give you a better understanding of what they go through. Okay, as for the harassment that they get from the police, as for they get kicked out of any parks. They can't even go somewhere to go sit. They can't go to grocery stores to be inside. They're kicked out. They can't go they go into the library, but if they smell or somebody complains, they have to get out. Not having anyone to care for you. Not having a bottle of water, some soap, toothpaste for yourself. I wonder if you've ever been there, officials. Have you ever been to a point where you are sleeping on the sidewalk and you can't sleep on the property, even though there's room on the grass for you to sleep? If you sleep on their property, you can be arrested, but they make you sleep on the sidewalk so people can see you. How disrespectful. So, I'm totally against the fact that they demolished this. They actually said that the reason why they demolished it was because it was unsafe. And, well, I didn't see homeless people make tents and huts out of campaign billboards that's still out there burning up and stuff. So what was safer? I don't understand and I don't know. But all I know is that they decided to tear this down. The people who were in them, they didn't give them enough time for them to be able to get their stuff out. So they lost everything they had. And if you're a person that's already, you don't have nothing, what you do have is so sacred to you. So they've now peeled these people of any additional documents or change of clothes or anything else that they may have had from their previous lives of before they were homeless. So I'm just totally against it. Okay. I do want to jump into what's happening around the country in regards to the COVID, the Omicron, the sub variant that's out now, sub variant BA-5.5. With that being said, for this, I am nervous again. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to what they got to say, and then I'll be back.
Coronavirus cases are up nationwide, mainly thanks to one subvariant. But concerns go beyond just cases. The CDC says hospitalizations have doubled since May. NBC News analysis finds 30 states are seeing a rise in cases over the last 14 days. The CDC says Omicron subvariant BA5 accounted for nearly 2/3 of all cases for the week ending July 9th. NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards joins us now to talk about this. Erica, Dr. Anthony Fauci says there's no indication that these new COVID subvariants are more dangerous, but we are hearing about a lot of stories about reinfection. So what are the experts watching right now, and what are they saying about keeping yourself healthy as these cases rise?
Hey, Zinkley, yeah, you're right. Those reinfections are occurring because these subvariants, BA4 and BA5, are just so good at infecting people, even though they may have previously been sickened or been vaccinated. A lot of us had our last booster shots last fall. Now that immunity is certainly waning. Now, as far as staying safe, the old advice still applies. Masking can help if you are indoors in crowded spaces like airports. White House COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha addressed this very question this morning on Today.
And
the virus spreads when people are spending more time indoors. We know that happens in the fall and winter, especially in the northern half of the country. Right now, we're seeing a lot of cases up in the southern parts where it's hot and people are spending time indoors, and it certainly is a harbinger of making sure that we plan for a fall and winter surge of infections and be ready if that happens.
Now, Dr. Jha also urged people that if they are eligible for a booster now, to get it now, even if it doesn't absolutely protect against infection.
Right. So, they are still pushing for people to be able to get vaccines. What do you think about it? Call in 702-551-5261. What do you think about the additional variants that keep coming out, and they're telling us that the same vaccines that they had before these new variants are going to work for these variants? That bothers me. It affects me in the fact of, I think, like you're trying to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, okay? Like, yeah, it's some protection. But, I mean, I'd rather you work on the gunshot wound. Why don't you get the bullet out? You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I say that, I mean that by, like, why are we still going through these additional variants? I know that, trust me, for years and years and years, we had smallpox, we had polio, we had all these additional things that they were vaccinating for and everything else. And every year, it's a new one. This year has been like 2 or 3. Okay, and why are the same drugs that were being issued before this new variant came out, why is this being pushed? Is it being pushed because we already bought it? Okay, because you know how when your mama go to the grocery store and she asks you, like, hey, y'all want to get, which cereal do y'all want to get? And y'all get the cereal because it's like, it got a great box and it's colorful and it got, like, you just think it's gonna be so good, and you get it home and it tastes like medicine. It's just nasty. I got kids at home, okay, that do this to me all the time, and nobody wants to eat the cereal, but your mama like, I'm not buying another box of cereal till y'all eat that one. Right? So you're kind of forced to eat it, even though you don't want to. That's how I feel. Okay? I feel like I don't I don't want your drugs that you keep pumping into everybody and it's not helping. Like, I would think that if I'm taking so many of these drugs and boosters and everything else, that I would actually get my immune system will be able to fight this shit off. But instead, you're telling me I can still get it. So why am I taking your medicine? Call in, Dr. Fauci. Shit, I've been trying to figure this out. 702, and you just had COVID. Call in and let me know how it felt when you're old. Sorry, I like you, Dr. Fauci. But what I'm saying is, nothing that y'all doing is actually helping to oppress this disease. So you just keep giving me drugs that have side effects and then tell me I could still get it, but it just wouldn't be as worse. How do I know that? Like, how do I know that? And how do I not know that you're not giving me these new variants? Call in, Dr. Fauci, 702-551-5261. I just got a couple of questions. Okay? Maybe you could talk me into going to go get a shot or something. Maybe you with me speaking to you personally, we can talk to the world about why you want us to get these drugs and you didn't get yours. They keep saying, at first they were saying that Dr. Fauci was not getting this the shot because of health conditions. Then when he actually got it, then they said, oh, he's vaccinated. Something ain't right. Call in. Okay. I want to talk to you guys in regards to what's happening overseas, dealing with Russia, Ukraine, us as America. So Biden actually spoke on Iran joining up with Russia. I want you guys to hear what he's speaking on.
And talking about game-changing partnerships, Joe Biden is trying to make some friends in West Asia. His earlier plan to ignore the region has failed completely. The U.S. president ended up alienating key allies, and now he's trying to make up to them. He's on a mission to win them back. He's making bold commitments. Today, Joe Biden promised Israel that the U.S. will stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon and that he's willing to use force against Tehran if needed. How will this impact the revival of the Iran nuclear deal? Our next report has some answers.
Please sit down. Thank you. Well, good afternoon.
Before he took office, Joe Biden had a lot of complaints about Donald Trump's West Asia strategy. He slammed the former president for wrecking the Iran nuclear pact and vowed to restore it after he took office. More than a year into the job, Biden is walking in Trump's footsteps. He doesn't rule out the use of force against Iran.
You, in the past, said you'll do anything, and you say it again, that you'll ensure Iran would not acquire nuclear weapons. Does that also mean, sir, that you would use force against Iran? Is that what that means? If needed?
That was the last resort, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That statement was for Israel. It was supposed to assure Israeli leaders that America will support Israel. But Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid wants the US to go beyond words. He met Joe Biden one-on-one today. At the press conference, Lapid lectured the US president.
Words will not stop them, Mr. President. Diplomacy will not stop them. The only thing that will stop Iran is knowing that if they continue to develop their nuclear program, the free world will use force. The only way to stop them is to put a credible military threat on the table.
To pacify Israel, Team Biden came up with a pact. It is called the Jerusalem Declaration. It dictates the future of US and Israel ties. America has committed to stopping Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. With this pact, Biden sent a message to Tehran. The US president said he is not going to wait forever for Iran to come to the table.
We've laid out for the people, for the leadership of Iran, what we're willing to accept in order to get back in the JCPOA. We're waiting for the response. When that will come, I'm not certain, but we are not going to wait forever.
The negotiations to revive the Iran deal remain dead. American and Iranian officials met in Qatar last month. European powers mediated their dialogue. They talked for 2 days, but left Qatar without an outcome. European powers are now issuing a warning. France says the world has only a few weeks to revive the pact now. The new French Foreign Minister, Catherine Colonna, has spoken out. She claimed Iran is inching closer towards becoming a nuclear-armed state.
All right. Along with that, okay, I just want to also add in, Putin also chimed in to Biden going over to Saudi Arabia. And he basically said he's daring the West to fight them on the battlefield. Okay. Quick alert, 702-551-5261, 702-551-5261. Call in. I am giving out 2 tickets to the new movie Nope, made by Jordan Peele, also the same person that did Get Out. So if you guys are interested in being able to get some free tickets and maybe like a date night on me, on the station, Hot 702.5 FM, okay? Go ahead and give a phone call in. And once again, that's 702-551-5261. I do have a video that I want to go into, just to be able to let you guys hear what Putin said. Is a very quick video, but it's chilling. Okay, and it makes. Remember, a couple weeks ago, I was telling you guys about the draft, and that this bothers me because this war could go as long as my child. My child is 8 for 10 years. He could be getting ready to go to war for this, and I don't want that. I don't want my child going to war for any rich white men's issues, okay? I need him to fight for his own stuff that he got going on. I'm not against white people. I'm not against rich white men. But what I'm telling you is fight your own damn battle, okay? Send your own damn kids, okay? So let's go ahead and do this so you can hear.
With State Duma members, Russian President Vladimir Putin has been daring the West to try and defeat it on the battlefield.
We are hearing that they want to defeat us on the battlefield. What can I say? Let them try. We have often heard that the West wants to fight us until the last Ukrainian. It's a tragedy for the Ukrainian people, but it looks like it's heading in that direction. But everybody should know that, largely speaking, we haven't even yet started anything in earnest.
Russia accuses the West of waging a proxy war against it by hammering its economy with sanctions and stepping up the supply of advanced weapons to Ukraine. Vladimir Putin says the prospects for any negotiation are bleak the longer the conflict drags on, but didn't rule talks out.
We don't refuse peace talks, but those who refuse should know that the longer it lasts, the more difficult it will be for them to make a deal with us. Several packages of anti-sanctions measures were introduced in a short period of time, starting as early as the first days of March, in close contact with the government. Thanks to them, the consequences of the unfriendly, clearly hostile actions of Western countries have been minimized.
All right. So quickly, just to understand what he basically said was, bust a grape. Let's go. Let's go. You want to pump play? You want to be in the mix? Let's go. And that scares me, okay? Because do you know that they can decide to say, for all these large armies that are stationed in Asia, okay? They can say, you know what? They didn't send us with nuclear bombs before. Why don't all of us send all of our stuff at once? Okay? I do have a caller on the line. And I would like to see if they can answer the question. Hello, caller. You're on with Kristie J.
I'm on the air?
Yes, sir. You're on the air. The question.
Okay.
The question
I thought
today
I won
was.
tickets.
You would have to answer the question. The question is, what day does the national election start? Not the early voting, the actual voting day.
Oh man, I don't know. Google told me November 8th.
Google. I thought you would know this, but yes, sir, you are correct. You are
Yeah.
correct. And I have 2 tickets for you. We will get your information.
2 tickets to what?
Yep, go ahead and stay on the line and we will go ahead and get your information. It is for the new movie Nope by Jordan Peele, who is also the person that did Get Out. So it should be a great movie.
Yes. I'm going to see Nope. Yes.
Thank you so much. And thanks for listening. Okay, just stay on the line. They'll get your information. All right, so let me go back into these things because I got less than a couple of minutes. I want to make sure that I'm touching on some stuff. One is that the pay raise is the actual pay is going down and your bills are going up. How do you, in a world like this, how do you fix that? Do you get a second job? Do you decide that you go, you know what I'm saying, live with somebody that you really don't want to be with, or what? You know, do you reduce your family? How do you do this in this today and age? Also, they said that the monkeypox surge is going to go all the way through August. I had a bump on my like my jawline the other day, and I swear I thought I had monkeypox. You guys stay safe, okay? Bank of America is saying that the recession has begun, and they are anticipating 20% of stock drops in for the rest of this year. That's a lot, okay? Get your money, all right? And then also Texas is warning over blackouts. Now, once again, Texas, we talked about you guys and your priorities the last time you had the winter storms and everything froze up, but the state was putting more money into NASA and sending people to the moon instead of you being able to have air, heat, and actual electricity at your own damn house. Let's see how you vote about this. And will you rather be in a blackout? Okay, you guys, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Yes. So before we get out of here, I quickly need to speak to you guys in regards to these shootings that keep happening to our black men. And we're going to go ahead and...
Story in Akron, Ohio. Community leaders and elected officials calling for peaceful protests today after releasing body cam video of the deadly police shooting of a 25-year-old black man. The video is disturbing. CBS 2's Elise Preston has the story.
Officials in Akron, Ohio called for calm following the release of body camera footage showing the death of Jalen Walker. Police shot and killed the 25-year-old as he ran from them. The video shows the moments leading up to the tragedy. An officer at the wheel of a police cruiser tries to pull Walker over for an unspecified traffic violation. Walker does not stop, setting off a chase. Police say a shot was fired from his car shortly after the pursuit began. Minutes later, Walker pulled over, then ran into a parking lot. As they approached, 8 officers opened fire. More than 60 rounds struck Walker, who was declared dead at the scene. Akron Police Chief Milet confirmed that Walker was unarmed at the time of the shooting.
When you see it in real time, it's very hard to distinguish what Mr. Walker is doing. In the still photos, there's a picture that appears to all of us that Mr. Walker is going down to his waist area.
The incident has sparked daily protests in Akron. 8 members of the Akron police force have been placed on leave pending an investigation by state authorities.
They've got to be ready to explain why they did what they did. They need to be able to articulate what specific threats they were facing. And that goes for every round that goes down the barrel of their gun.
Akron law requires all body cam evidence to be public within a week. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
So it ended up being 48 shots into this man's body. I just want to, a couple of weeks ago, like last month, I expressed that I had a video that talked about If every black person went and got life insurance, the police would stop killing us because they would be accountable for the money. And it's always about the money. Okay? This is, to me, black life means nothing to them because nothing happens. No one's held accountable. They get a slap on their wrist. They able to not work for the department. They go to a different department in a different state and it's nothing, right? Accountability, money talks. If every black person went and got them a life insurance plan, and also on that life insurance plan you added something about being killed by law enforcement, they'll stop killing us. I really appreciate you guys coming in and speaking with me. Interacting with me is important. I'm always here to be able to make sure that you get the knowledge, but I need to know what you need to know about so I can help. My name is Kristie J. My credentials are I went to Southern University. I have a political science degree. I'm here for you. So if you see somebody out there shining, let them know. If you see somebody out there grinding, let them know you see them shining. And I'll see y'all next week at 10 a.m. on Saturday. I love y'all.
Yeah. If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor, 'cause I know some so poor. When it rains, that's when they shower, scream and fight the power. That's when the vulture devours. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. I know some soldiers that sleep but they can't dream, wake up with screams, sounds of M16. So take this medal of honor for your bravery. I wish you the best, kid, you and your family. If I was president, I get elected on Friday.